What's up, what's up, what's up, BitConnect? It's Ride or Die. I'm Respawn. That's G. That's Ainsley. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're a bunch of LGBTQIA plus peeps that hang out and talk about cool shit like books and comic books and video games and movies and TV shows. It's real fun. What are we talking about today, Ainsley? It's real gay.
Today, we're talking about Tim Drake, who, if you are even peripherally in the comic sphere, which I imagine that you are if you are here, Tim Drake has been a big topic of conversation this last week because of the story that he has been featured prominently in Batman Urban Legends, starting with number 4, called The Sum of Our Parts. And it is a big deal because Tim Drake, who is the third Robin, has just come out. And that is a big, big deal.
Yeah, sorry to hear about this BFD. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So,
thanks for being here.
Yeah. So,
hey, Glennon.
Hey. My screen's so I don't know who here has been reading Batman Urban Legends, but it's a series. It's an ongoing series of vignettes featuring different stories by different writers, and it's actually just been really, really good all around. Issue number 1 got me right off the bat because you open it up and it's a Red Hood and Batman team-up story being written by Chip Zdarsky. And so, yeah, so from issue number 1, I was like, let's go! I'm sold. I was so into it right off the bat. And so I highly recommend it. Even I'm beyond Some of Our Parts. It's just been a really fantastic collection, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But so we kick off this story, and I sent G some pictures, and the very first page. So you open this book up, and right away, it's, I don't know if you can see it. If you can't zoom into your screen, read the little bits in red that he's talking about. It starts it right off the bat with heavy implications that Tim is struggling with something that he either can't or won't identify quite yet. And so just from the get-go, this story throws you right in with, I'm sorry, what? But I got to admit, I was really nervous about it. So I'm trying to pull up the information. I should have had it sooner. Let me see what I've got here, because the woman who wrote it, the only thing that I knew her from was Supernatural. And Supernatural is kind of famous for its queer baiting, which is, it's not great. It's not ideal. And so once
I disagree, but
okay, so I'm just going to throw this right out there. Like, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. They took 15, we'll even be gracious, 12 seasons, because Castiel didn't come in until season 3. They took 12 seasons of dancing around Cass and Dean to finally have Castiel admit that he's in love, and then immediately get sent to super hell for being gay. I'm gonna fight with this one. Like, Supernatural is so bad for queer baiting. It is just terrible and infamous for it.
I disagree, but okay.
I love this conversation.
But now I want to hear your side of it. I want to hear your perspective of why you don't think that it's bad at queer baiting.
It fit with the character. Like, Cass didn't realize it, and that made sense with the character throughout the show. Like, I really appreciated the ending. I thought it was perfect. And because it's an unrequited love. And, like, I don't know. It makes sense to me to not admit it to the end. Plus, I think like most of the Destiel was the fans. It wasn't the writers being like, "This is a thing." It was the fans being like, "We want this to be a thing."
Well, and Misha Collins, because I don't think anyone ships Destiel more than Misha Collins.
He loves those boys so much.
Oh my god, he
It's
really does.
adorable.
Um,
I'm gonna have to say, I think, okay, so to give context, I watched the ending, but I hadn't watched the like couple of seasons up to the ending, so I feel like I missed out on a bunch of context that I maybe should have had watching the ending. But I'm gonna have to side with Ames and say, like, I wish that I just wanted to see them like.
The thing is,
I just wanna
it's
see
not.
them
They're not
happy
a.
together.
They're not a gay couple though. Like it was
Yeah,
never
I
gonna
know.
be a happy ending. That's only
Yeah.
something the fans wanted, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
have been true to the characters because Dean is not
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah. You're
Like,
right.
sorry,
Yeah.
he's pretty.
Okay,
heavily
Megan
straight
Fitzmartin,
for
there
the
we go.
entire show.
Sorry, all of that to
Yeah,
find her name.
it's
So
my
the,
own bias projecting there, by the way. Like, I just want to see them kiss.
but anyway, so
Right, like,
I was
get
a little.
the wanting it, but like it was never gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so it's written by Megan Fitzmartin, who did a fantastic job. I think that she had a really good voice for the characters. My concern was, thankfully, groundless. It didn't have any footing. I think that she told the story really, really well. So absolutely kudos to her. I was totally wrong about her, and I will absolutely read more of what she does in the future. But I also need to take a second to talk about the art in this book. Art by Belen Ortega, who, oh my God, just everything is so pretty. Everything is so pretty. And I really can't rave about her art enough. She's really fantastic. Please look her up. Just see the other stuff that she's got. She did a cover for a release of Blade of the Immortal, and I'm glad I was sitting down because otherwise it would have knocked me over. It was so gorgeous. But anyway, so the art in this is gorgeous. It starts right off throwing us in with Tim having kind of a bit of an existential crisis. Kids are going missing around the city, and they only have one thing in common. Wink, wink. And so he has taken it upon himself to start investigating and figuring out what's going on, while at the same time realizing that he may have more in common with these missing children than he's ready to accept. Yeah, so if you want to jump back to the picture that you were just on, I'm actually going to sit here and read this out because this is really, really good. And just an example of, like I said, I think that Megan had a fantastic voice for the characters. And it's Barbara, Oracle. She's Oracle when she's in green, talking to, also, let me give a shout out, like, letterists do not get enough credit, but do you have any idea how hard it is to make green lettering with a green background and have it still look that good? Mm-hmm. So it's not that easy, and they deserve way more credit than they get. But anyway, Barbara is talking to him over the comms, and she tells him, maybe Ivytown University wasn't for you, but you won't figure out what is for you if you're busy trying to solve everyone and everything else, because you're scared. You're so incredibly scared that if you use that big, brilliant brain of yours to analyze yourself, what you find is going to change you. And he hangs up on her. Because Tim spends a majority of this arc doing a lot of that. He has a lot of questions, but he runs from the answer every time he's faced with confronting that. Oh, poll the chat. Favorite Robin. Oh, I gotta see. Yeah, so I thought that was really good. And he tells her, I gotta go, I'm meeting up with an old friend, and cuts her off, and then goes and meets up with his old friend, who we see in the next picture, if you want to switch to that, Ree.
Can you just fall in love with a character in one image? Because I did.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Like, oh,
Like
well,
I
I want to love and protect this character.
oh my God, her art is so beautiful. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I think it's really funny because
everyone loves Dick. Sorry to interrupt. Everyone loves Dick.
That's all right. That's all right. I love Jason. Yeah. Red Hood has such a special place in my heart, but
Oh shit.
but Duke Thomas is my baby, and I love him so much, and he does not get the respect he deserves.
Did you read his recent, I think, #1 or one shot, the Signal? He had a new one recently.
It was Batman Secret Files.
Yeah, that's
the one. Yes, I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
It was good.
But I was very excited. I was very excited to get my hands on it because I didn't even realize that it was coming out.
Group right here is the only time we've ever had a majority of Red Hood fans as favorite Robin. That's never happened before.
No, I love him. So, by the way, if you can't read it, Tim's little red box text there says, it feels like it's been years, but he still looks ... looks ... So we've got that again. But also, I just have to point out there that it feels like it's been years was a little on the nose, because the last time we saw Bernard, and the editors got the little comment in there for Robin Volume 2, number 140, that was 2005.
So it's that's like last year, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It feels like it's been years. So I just had to throw that out there. Yeah. So he meets up with Bernard, and they share a meal together, and it is interrupted by a very scary goon in a mask who shows up and pronounces himself a chaos demon. Tim tells Bernard to get under the table and tries to fight. The guy throws chloroform in his face, and when Tim wakes up, Bernard is gone. Tim, the next time you see him, is hot on the case, double down on investigating, and again, we've got this great conversation. Bernard does not look 12. He only looks a little bit 12, but mostly not 12. But anyway.
He just drinks a lot of water, and it keeps his skin looking very young. There
you go. And we have this great exchange between Tim and Stephanie. So something that you'll see if you read the conversation is she's trying to get him to talk to her, and she points out, you haven't talked to me since we broke up. I don't know what's going on with you, and I don't know how to help you. And he dips, he leaves, he runs again. And that's something that crops up continuously throughout this series is his friends keep asking him, what do you want? What do you need? How can I help? And every time he tells them, I don't know. And so I actually read through this twice. I read through it initially, and then I read through it again as kind of a refresher for tonight. And the second time just kind of hit a little different, because that's something that is really familiar as someone who kind of struggled to come to terms with her own identity as a queer person. Mm-hmm. Is, well, what do you want? I don't know, because you know what you're supposed to want and what you wanted before, whether or not it's really what you wanted. And it's hard and it's scary. And so like, I really appreciated what Megan did with that, with having him talking to his friends. And like, it was really easy to miss the first time going through, and just catching it on the second, that he's constantly being asked, what do you want? How can I help? What do you need? And he's not there yet. And so I just thought that was really good. I really appreciated it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I just like raise your hand if you've ever been queer and pushed a friend away because they knew more about you than you knew about yourself or were ready to admit.
100%. That's exactly it. Yeah, you just fucking summed it up so succinctly. Yeah.
um, yeah, so he leaves, and then Connor calls him
Oh,
because Stephanie tells
What
him
do you
to.
reckon the ringtone is? What's the ringtone here?
Oh my God,
that
that's a
San
great question.
Francisco sound. I think
It'd
he's a
be so
fan of
funny.
the oldies, frankly.
You know what?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you're
like,
probably right.
Like, honestly,
when
I
it was
assume
like,
like he probably unironically likes ABBA and like didn't realize that was a sign.
that is so funny. I was thinking, like, what if you had it set to like, I'm coming out from Diana Ross, and he just
Right?
like unironically answers the phone to that.
I'm gonna think about that. See if I can come up with something funny. Yeah, like I said, you see it here where Connor is getting in touch with him because everyone's getting worried, and he asks, can I help? What do you need? And I don't know. And so it's cute and
Everybody
it's sad
loves
and it
Tim.
tugs at my heartstrings, and I just
Aw.
I love this story. So
Mm.
he does some investigating. He ends up going to Bernard's parents, who don't like him, and he never figured out why.
Mm.
And to Bernard's friends, and finds out that Bernard was getting into some weird stuff with a new cult in town. And so Tim goes and gets himself abducted by the cult because that's the easiest way to get in. And
Duh.
this
What else
picture.
are you
Do you ever remember the? I should have gotten this one for comparison. There was an issue of Dark Avengers where Clint Barton has been captured and is being interrogated, and he's tied to a chair, and the bad guy Venom is behind him, and has like his hand here and his tongue all on his face, and they like do this close up on his eyes where he's kind of got his head tilted down and he's looking up, and it's very like intentionally, there's no way it was an accident, it's very intentionally like submissive homoerotic, and I just got the exact, like, they are making him look so gay in this picture, and it can't be by mistake. It can't be. He's absolutely got defiant brat vibes going on here so bad.
Hot. That's my input there. That's my. That's what I'm adding to this conversation. Hot. Hot, 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 hot. Hot, hot. Gee, do you have anything to add here?
I don't want to be a downer, but this kind of stuff kind of weirds me out. Because
Yeah,
like,
fair.
I don't think Slave Leia is sexy. I don't think there's
Yeah.
what was it? Something in that terrible Red Hood run with Starfire.
Yeah.
And like someone's being like has a gun to her head and she's like got her ass like grinding into the dude's crotch. Like what the fuck is happening? Anytime someone's being like held, and I get he probably like knows what he's doing. It's like a bit of a Black Widow thing of like, I've got this, but I'm letting them.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what he's doing here. Is he's playing the wide-eyed, innocent, rich boy heir who doesn't know what he wants to do with his life.
It weirds me out anytime to see someone like hurt and it's supposed to be sexy. As you can tell, I'm not into BDSM.
Yeah.
Hurt is not sexy to me, so like it just bums me out.
We've got the two extremes on this. Yeah, we've got the two extremes in this panel, which is nice because
I don't like. I wanna untie him. I wanna clean him up. I wanna pet his hair. Like I wanna make him chicken and stars or something.
That is so cute. I love that. What else have I
That is
got? Hang on.
adorable.
What's next?
So this is something that I really like is we've got, and I think he's a new character that hasn't appeared in anything else before. This is Detective Williams.
You know,
So
I think he could be played by Henry Golding.
I expected
Henry
nothing
Golding?
else from you, G. Yes, he should definitely be played by Henry Golding.
Who dat? Who dat?
Oh,
He played Snake Eyes in the new movie Snake Eyes.
Oh, cool.
he's G's favorite. He's pretty
He's very pretty. And has a very lovely voice.
and very
Hell yeah.
talented. Just wildly
Yes.
talented actor. He's fantastic.
Sign me up. Let's do.
So here's the thing, like I've been catching up on Batwoman. And I'm really impressed by how much DC has been letting that property go full on with their all cops are bastards message, and I'm absolutely loving it. So when I read through and I saw this, you know, he obviously works for GCPD, but when you meet him, Tim has broken into his car and is rabbiting through his files because this guy doesn't keep electronic files. He's got them all hard copy in his car to keep them safe. But he also kind of anticipated that someone was going to show up from the Bat family to rifle through his things. And instead of being a typical cop, especially since I think at this point there's like a mandate against them right now. They're not supposed to be doing this. He admits that he intentionally parked away from the scene so that Tim would have privacy while he was going through his car, and asks him to fix this, to solve this, because he says that there's pressure to mark these kids as runaways, but he knows that that's not what's happening, and they can't do anything, but Tim can. And he says, help me find these kids. Do whatever you have to do. And I thought that that was really awesome.
Hell yeah.
So that's why
great.
I included this picture, is like, because here's a guy who knows right from wrong. And
Yeah.
It's
not like
he can't do anything with the rules, but you can. So here is everything you need. And
Right.
I'm always here for stuff like that.
Mm.
Fuck yeah.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this is a character I would actually kind of like to see somewhere. Live action.
Sweet.
He's a good character. I'd love to see more of him. We don't get much of him throughout this, but what we do get is him doing what he can to help Tim,
Right.
and I'm really here for it. It's very Commissioner Gordon to Batman vibes,
Right?
which is cool.
Which is never a bad thing.
Give me a young, sexy Commissioner Gordon type. Fuck yeah.
God damn.
Yes.
Speaking of
What
the new
are
Commissioner
they?
Gordon in Titans, I don't want to spoiler for anyone, but one of my favorite parts of this season.
We should talk about that next episode a little bit.
Hell yeah.
'Cause
I'm always ready to talk about Titans.
I haven't seen any of
hell
it. I want
well,
to.
that
Um,
gives you time to
it's,
binge it.
Yeah. There's no Tim Drake yet, though. So,
Oh, but he's been cast.
and hey, there was a tiny, brief little cameo of Duke.
Yay!
It's one like you gotta watch for it,
Good.
but yeah, and you'll see. But watch out, he's there.
I love Duke. He's such a good boy, and he needs to be
Hell
in more.
All right, hang on. Let me look us forward.
Okay.
Is this the next
So hang on, let me see.
What's next?
Yeah, so we get a lot of internal monologue from Robin, and all of it's just really good and really familiar. And so if you can't read it, it says, "So here I am on the roof of a pain cult, just as clueless as before. What am I doing? Everyone keeps asking me that. I came here to help these kids, to find them, to find Bernard. But why? Why did I leap to help Detective Williams without a second thought? Why didn't I ask Stephanie or Connor for help?" And like, I am such a sucker for Alex Packnadell said it once. Conflicted sad boys are my bread and butter, is what he said, and that has stuck with me forever. And because it's true, I love it. I love conflicted sad boys, and it's just really great dialogue or monologuing of Tim like at war with himself, like inching closer and closer to that answer that he wants but is afraid to get, and just so this scene is actually really cool. This is from issue 5, and it bounces back and forth between him in the Robin suit and him in his t-shirt and jeans that you saw in the earlier panel. Because he's actually there and he's just in his t-shirt and jeans, but he keeps switching to this Robin costume because that's who he is. That's how he sees himself, and that's in the dialogue on this page here, I believe. Yeah, I'm always Robin, and that's how he sees himself. But here he is starting to question, who am I if I'm not Robin? So it's just a really cool series of panels jumping back and forth between him in the Robin costume and him actually in real life. And I really enjoyed that. So he's standing on the roof having this existential crisis. What's that?
Can we please have like an Ainsley Red version of this comic?
Okay. So if you can't see that, like I said, he's so close. He's right there. He says, Connor's right. Stephanie's right. I need to figure out what it is I want. And it feels so appropriate that he's having all of this on the edge of a roof. Because he's right on the edge, so close to being able to take the lead. But of course, at this point, he gets attacked by the Chaos Monsters again. Where he discovers that the reason that it's a different monster every time attacking the children is because it's a different person in a different mask that's a member of this cult. And so he discovers, after whopping the shit out of them and stealing a mask to infiltrate, that they're really actually doing human sacrifices. And in the panel just before, his sole thought was, have to get Bernard, have to make sure he's safe. And so I just, again, really, really like that. Also, totally apropos of nothing, and this is probably just me, but Bernard's costume in this with the red shirt, slightly open at the bottom. I don't know if any of you guys played Final Fantasy V way, way back in the Dark Ages, or any of the Dissidia games since then, but Bart's Clouser, who is the main character, you can actually change his class to any of the classes available in the entire game, and his dancer uniform is a red flamenco shirt, and I see Bernard in this red shirt, and all I can think of is Bart's.
That's hot. The only one I played is the boy band one where they go on the road trip.
That was 15,
14?
and I loved it so much.
15.
Yeah, beautiful boy adventure.
So it's really fun, yeah.
So he rescues Bernard, and he's trying to think of what to do. What would Batman do? Batman would try to outwit them, get them all to confess. Bernard has this moment where he admits out loud that he was obsessed with Robin. So adorable. But also, I don't know if you can see it, but they're totally holding hands, and Tim's little dialogue box even says his hand is warm. Fever? Did they do something else to him? No, he's just in love.
Oh, you adorable dummy.
So, yeah, I squeed a little. And there are a lot of things that I'm a sucker for, especially with, like, little budding romance stories like this. And he tells Bernard to run, to get out of there, to save himself, that he's got this and he'll take care of this alone. And Bernard says, the fuck you will. The actual line is, that's what you think. I've been training. And so he just jumps into the fray and starts kicking the crap out of these guys too. And it's super adorable. And I absolutely had I Need a Hero going through the back of my head the whole time that I was reading this.
Nice.
So they beat everyone up. It's a great time. Bernard really does hold his own. And in the midst of it, he asks Robin for a favor and tells him that if he doesn't make it out of this, to tell Tim that he helped him realize who he really is and that he's sorry they couldn't finish their date. Just in my little heart, because I love
It's
like,
so
the whole,
cute.
if I don't make it, you'll make it, but if I don't,
Right.
tell him I love him.
Yeah, it's so wholesome. It's so sweet.
It is super, super sweet. The butt kicking scene is so cool. The fights in this are really, really good. And I know that they're action comics, no pun intended, and they're supposed to be full of motion and movement and fights, but let's be honest, like, some artists are just better at drawing fight scenes than others. And again, Belen Ortega is just absolutely incredible. Every single panel is a visual feast. And all of the, if you want to switch to the next one, all of the little details, there's so much fluidity and motion and movement, and none of these characters at any point just look like they are two-dimensional drawings on paper. It's so alive, and I just absolutely cannot rave about her stuff enough. And her and friggin' Jamal Campbell and Nick Robles just need to do all of the art forever. Just saying.
I don't disagree. I feel like anyone who wants to draw black hair should have to take a class with Jamal Campbell, though.
Oh my god. Those freaking dreads.
Yeah.
Those dreadlocks.
Who does the coloring? Do you know, Ainsley? Because the coloring is great too.
I don't know if Belen does that as well. I don't have it handy, but I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, I wanted to read off the dialogue here, because I talked earlier about how the story is familiar, and there's a lot of the dialogue and inner monologue that is very familiar if you are a queer person who has struggled to get to the point where you say out loud, I am a queer person. And as they're fighting, the inner monologue is, ever had a light bulb moment? Like, something out in the ether has been taunting you, teasing you. Like, you know you're supposed to be on the same page with your brain, but not everything made sense. People keep asking me what I want. Oracle, Dick, Steph, even Connor. But I couldn't grasp it. Whatever it was, it always felt just out of reach. Until now. Until right now.
Oh my god.
Just like palpitations. It's such good writing. It's such good writing. Really, really good writing.
Okay.
And especially superimposed over a fight scene. I don't even know how to articulate it well enough. It's just so perfect that this commotion and chaos and this really intense moment, and that's when everything falls into place. Like, it's order out of chaos, and I love it. Love it.
Yeah, that's really sick.
Yes. So we've got Tim and Bernard beat up all the bad guys. They call in the cops, and Tim watches from above. And this is part of why I really want to see more of Detective Williams. Is this man done knew? He knew exactly where to look. Like, he's anticipating this kid's movements and where he's going to be and what he's going to do. This is at least the second time in a very short series. It's only 3 issues that he has known where Robin was going to be and what he was going to do, and he's just like that little step ahead. And considering that, you know, Tim Drake is like the smartest guy on the freaking planet, I just think that's really cool that he is anticipating Tim's moves. But so
on the, I think it was during Sandman, and I think it was Judah was talking about like he loves when artists do like good acting with their drawings, and I think this is such a good example of like great acting with drawings, because like that look, just him looking back, like there's a lot being said in just that look.
Exactly.
And yeah, like
the expressions and all the art, are fantastic. I agree.
No, definitely, absolutely.
And again, great acting.
So the dialogue here is Detective Williams talking to him, and so read into this whatever you will, but he says to him, "I don't think it's that simple. I know what you're going through. I've been through it too.
Hey.
You're holding too tight to a version of yourself you think you have to fit. Let go. You can figure out what you want along the way." So aside from that being really great advice, I'm not going to lie, totally hoping that Detective Williams is also queer, because why not? We are, in fact, allowed to have more than one queer person in a comic. I know that Marvel doesn't think so, because everything that they do that has more than 2 queer characters in it gets canceled, but we're not talking about that this time.
Hey, so I just need to mention, we were reading, my fiance and I were reading a Star Wars book together, and he was like, I just have one complaint. Every single relationship in this book is queer. And I'm like, why is that a complaint? Why are you complaining? And he's like, well, it just doesn't seem very realistic that there would be no straight relationships. I'm like, yes, that has been me with every single book I've read that has only straight relationships. So, like, shut up.
So I think right now that we can do like, I don't know, 400 years of nothing but queer relationships to kind of match the history of straight relationships and consumable media, and
got you.
And then we can start evening it out, and we'll call it fair.
Right.
But
what did Ruth Bader Ginsburg say? Like, there'll be enough women on the Supreme Court when there's all of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, well, how many justices do you think should be women? 9.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, because nobody has these complaints when it's the majority that's already in power. So,
that's
wonder why that could be.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, so Tim goes on his merry way, and the very end that we see is he goes to Bernard's house, and he takes a deep breath to steady his nerves, tells himself, "You can do this," and he knocks on the door, and tells him that he's been doing a lot of thinking, and he doesn't know what that night meant to him yet, but he wants to find out. And Bernard says, "Tim Drake, do you want to go on a date with me?" And of course, with everything that we've seen leading up to this, with Steph and Connor asking, what do you want? What do you want? And of course, we finally end with, "Yeah, I think I want that." And again, it ties it off so well. That had to be her intention. Like, I honestly can see Megan starting with this ending dialogue exchange and going back and writing the entire story just to match it, because it just lined up so well. I thought that it was really fantastic. And the great news is, you can see it there in the corner, they are going to continue the story in Batman Urban Legends number 10. So this is not the last that we are seeing of any of this. So that's also really, really nice.
Do you remember back when we did the DC Pride episode, and we're like, well, let's see if it's something they keep up, though.
Yep.
Okay, DC, I see you.
And the fact that they are going this route with Tim Drake is it's huge. It's huge. It's bigger, I think, than anything that anyone else has done. I think it's bigger than Bobby Drake coming out. Also, what is it with characters with the last name Drake being queer? Because
Right.
there's Tim Drake and Bobby Drake and Jesse Drake, and they
A
all
Drake's
a bunch
like
of weird.
ducks? Is that what a Drake is? Is a Drake like a duck bird?
Drake is like sort of a gay name though. I don't know. It's like Lance. Or like Chad. I don't know.
But yeah, it's a huge deal because it's Robin. It's Robin. This is not it's not a character that nobody's ever heard of, like Jesse Drake. It's not a character that we're gonna see once and then never again, like Somnus. It's not a background character that's just gonna get swept off to the side until the next queer special where they can pull them out and then talk about how great they are for having this character that you only see once a year. It's fucking Tim Drake. He's not going anywhere. They're not going to shove him into the background. They're not going to sweep him under the rug. Like, he's a prominent, important character. And this has just opened so many doors. I'm just friggin' beyond. I'm over the moon for this, man. Like, this is so incredible.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, this is
Next,
a step in the right
Jason.
direction. Yeah.
You know what? The entire Bat family is so chaotic bisexual. Like, the only exceptions being Batwoman and Midnighter. If he still counts as part of the Bat fam, I don't really know. Like, he's still friends with Dick, so maybe. But they're the only two that are absolutely, like, singularly homosexual. But everyone else, Bruce, fucking Dick, Jason, Duke, Damian, Cassie, Steph, Barbara, fucking Roy, all of them, Harper, all of them have such chaotic bisexual energy.
Basically,
so,
sleeping a night in Wayne Manor makes you bisexual.
Yes.
That's how it works. That's where all the bisexuals come from, actually.
Yep.
Yep. A fun fact. Wait, let me put out other fun fact banner up. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
I mean that is in fact important for bisexuals to know because you're probably gonna run into it.
I think Jen asked a good question. Does Alfred fuck? I would say
Oh
no.
yeah, absolutely.
See, I would be like, I feel like Alfred is like their like ace like grandpa.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see that too. I can see
like they were like learning about sexuality, he was studying the blade.
I love that.
Oh, no.
Because he's also like
I can't believe you
all
just did
his
that.
time being dedicated to like fucking Bruce, and that would make perfect sense because
Right? Like he's not gonna have kids, so
Oh my
yeah.
Oh no.
So
Then I'm just imagining him with the like fucking katana and the sweatpants and the Reeboks. No. I was gonna say while other people were out getting laid, he was at home disassembling guns, but okay.
that too, you know.
Amazing.
He can study lots of weapons in the time that it would take other people to have sex.
I don't know, some of these guys out there. But anyway.
Hey-o. True. Wow, this is fun. Thanks for telling us about this comic, Ainsley. It's really a ride.
The people need to know.
It was my pleasure. And like I said, the entire Batman Urban Legends series thus far has been really, really good. They did, I think it was a 6-part story with Jason and Bruce that was really fantastic. Like, I say this almost every episode, but Good Dad Bruce is my favorite Bruce. And I won't spoil it and I won't say what it is, but he and Jason, there is a moment in the Red Hood Batman story called Teardrops, by the way, that just, oh my God, my heart grew 2 sizes. It was such a great, subtle moment that showed just what a good dad Bruce is. And I love it. I'm here for it. But they've been, um, Steph and Cassie story. There's the actually a story with Grifter that went on for, I think, it was 5 parts. That was Grifter and Lucius Fox. That was really good. I know that this last issue, which the only story I read in it was some of our parts for this, but I know that there's a Wonder Woman story featuring another character who I'm not going to say who that other character is because that's actually a spoiler for the Grifter story. There's this grand reveal at the end of Grifter's arc in Urban Legends #5. So it's a great little twist. It made me really happy. I'm really excited to see where they go with it. So I really do recommend. It's a little more expensive than the normal books because they are bigger. They've got a lot of stories in them, but it's really been worth it. It's just been fantastic and a great way for a lot of writers and artists to showcase their talents. So I'm always a big supporter of that stuff. Me?
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thanks.
This was such a fun episode and so like great to. It's just nice to like sit and look at some really fucking awesome art and hear about sick, exciting movements happening in the industry and like people that are passionate about it. It's cool. So.
Fuck yeah. So what are we talking about next time? If that's the thing we're ready to talk about.
Do you guys want to talk about Starfire next week? Yeah, I Am Not Starfire, I think, is the plan, which is initially what I posted this episode to be.
I'm sorry, I totally threw that. Well, last week we talked about doing this, so I totally had that in my mind, and I blocked out everything else that y'all talked about.
Oh, yeah.
And I just singularly focused on...
It was entirely my fault. And I'm excited to talk about it next week. So next week, if you're ready to hang out around the same time, it'll be either this time next week or an hour later, depending on what both of these peeps are available to do. We will talk about I Am Not Starfire. It's a really, really cool like YA graphic novel. The art is...
What you need to know is it's making 20-something white dudes very upset.
20-something, 30-something, 40-something. Yeah. It's just making cis-het white dudes upset. Yes.
So it's worth buying, right?
Well, you also need to know that it's being written, it was written by Mariko Tamaki, who is just phenomenal.
Literally pick up any run she's ever done and you will not have a bad time.
I was gonna say I'm collecting a few Batman titles. I know that there's like 53 of them, but one of them I'm collecting simply because it has her name on it. Yep. Like I will read anything with her name on it. She is really, really good. And the art is by Yoshi Yoshitani, who is an award-winning artist. It's really, really fantastic art. I love that the graphic novels are a thing. I love that comics are being marketed to younger audiences in the form that they prefer. Like the singular floppies they're not easy to collect. It's definitely like kids want to be able to have a single volume and go. So I like that DC is listening to the market and that they are producing content for these kids that's going to bring them into comics. They're going to grow up, they're going to remember these characters, and they're going to start collecting floppies, or they're going to sign up for the digital comic services. And it's a fantastic business move on their part. But also it's so important. Yeah, it's so important for these kids to have these stories. Like they need these stories, and I love that these stories exist. And I know that they're not being made for me. I did really enjoy this one. There are certain other ones that I've looked at, and I just can't get behind the art on them. I'm sure that they're great. I'm sure that they're very fantastic, and I'm glad for everyone out there who does enjoy. But like, there's a lot out there that I'm like, this is clearly not for me. But anyway, this is a really roundabout way of saying that the art in this is fantastic, and I loved it. It's so expressive and colorful, and just so nice to see an artist who is aware that there's more than one body type in the world.
Yeah.
That's something I
That's always-
appreciate about her, that author specifically, is like she's one of the few like lefty writers who is not casually fat phobic, which I think is one of like the few problems like us lefties have, is like, y'all are still fat phobic as fuck.
Yeah.
For sure.
Also,
Yeah.
dick jokes aren't funny. Be better. But yeah, I think
They are
that's
when they're about
something that
Nightwing.
Mariko... Agreed. But yeah, she doesn't have that problem, and I respect that. I think she's a great voice for like fat people and fat characters.
Tagging onto what you were both saying about, yeah, so, tagging onto what you were both saying about selling to children. Miracle Man posted some stats on Twitter the other day around like the highest selling graphic novels of 2020, and it was primarily whatever the new series is from the Captain Underpants writer.
Oh my god!
I can't remember.
I'm
what?
so
Yeah.
happy that Captain Underpants is still going.
Oh my
like,
god!
I remember
yes.
when the first ones came out when I was
Yeah,
in like
same,
third
like-
grade, and
Yeah,
was like, "This
same, it
is
was the
fucking
same.
great!" Yeah, and
It
now
was
like
so fun.
right, like my nephew, like we had a whole like 2-hour long conversation at some holiday dinner about the Captain Underpants movie, and he like very seriously was telling me why like this is a really good movie and you need to see it. Like here, during this TED talk, I will explain why.
That's
My nephew
adorable.
loves it too. Every time he comes around, because I've got Netflix, I'm the one that pays for Netflix, he's like, can I please watch whatever the series is? Because there's some new like animated series that's out. And he loves it, man. He like goes, yeah. It makes me so happy to see kids reading any books. Like, it doesn't
Right.
matter what it is. So those stats are really heartwarming, seeing that like it's mainly kids buying new
I'm pumped
comics.
for
And like,
it seems like it's kind of related. It seems like this next phase of the MCU is going to be aimed specifically kind of more towards the younger heroes, and I am
yeah.
hyped as hell for like there to be a
Yes,
phase that's
yes.
actually for younger kids, so parents
Yes.
don't have to be
Yeah,
like,
hell
should I show my kid this movie? Well, it is a Marvel movie.
For
Yeah,
what
like,
it's worth,
if you- I was just gonna say, like, there's always Black Label and like there's so many
Right.
things for adults to read. Like, yeah, give
Dude,
them
especially
that
this
cool
last
shit.
free comic book day, we went to like several different shops, and there were so many kids. And like, hell yeah,
Yeah, cute. That's so
you're the
cute.
future of this industry, please.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
They
but one of
was.
the free comic book day books was the Herogasm arc from The Boys. So parents,
Lol.
pay attention to the books your kids are grabbing.
That's right. Make sure they read that one.
I don't have it written down. There was specifically, I'll find it for you, Ainsley. There was a Jewish free comic book day title called like The Unfinished Thread or something. Yeah, it's a
What?
rabbi that takes them on a field. It's very like the Magic School Bus meets Judaism.
Oh my god, I'll have to see if I grabbed that. I grabbed a lot. You guys saw the stack last week that I kind
yeah,
of
like,
cried a little bit over.
Immediately.
I'm
was
kind
like,
of sold from
add
that
to the
alone.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's worth, my son actually read I Am Not Starfire tonight, and
Nice.
it got his seal of approval. He really enjoyed it.
Mm.
The kids say it's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Of course, Ace grabbed it. Ace reads everything.
Yeah. Ace is the best.
Someday, I'm
Ace
going
is
to tell
favorite.
them about a book, and they're not going to have read it already.
One day. One day.
Good luck.
I will self-publish that book if I have to.
All right.
I mean,
I'll just be like, I
gold.
have
Meaning
a
that-
Kindle already.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I'm eating a pancake at the same time.
Oh, I don't get pancakes
Pancake?
till tomorrow morning. I'm so jealous.
Oh, it's really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. I made some pancakes.
Do
The
you
rule
make
for
them? What?
Yep.
For that? Oh, that's
Sorry, the rule for
Yeah,
leaders
no,
is
that
buy
is
lots
true.
until you think you have enough, and
Oh.
I'll buy twice as
Dude, that was one of like the stupidest sex things I believed, which is stupid because I was like a high school sex educator kind of. Anyway, we could talk about sex safety, teachers couldn't. Anyway, but like one of the things I totally bought into was like, oh, you shouldn't need lube because that means that you have a bad vagina or butthole or whatever. And like, no, you should just use it. It's like you should blow your nose, like use a tissue if you need to. Like, why wouldn't you use these things?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You should never use
Oh, this feels
toothpicks. That means
great.
you're weak. Like what?
Yeah, that's right. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
That's the wise wisdom of the week. Thanks everyone for like hopping in the chat and being here and hanging out and listening to us rant about cool shit. We love it. It's really fun, and we'll be doing this every week around the same time. Next week we should be talking about I Am a Starfire, and like Miracle Man says, lube that booty. We love you all. Anything else?
Eventually, we'll do
say
something
before we
Marvel
go?
again. I'm
Yeah.
confident that we will get to Marvel again at some point.
You know
but
what?
right now, like
we'll talk about
DC
when Marvel does something queer enough to talk about.
exactly, like
That's right.
I'm sure we'll do something Marvel, but right now DC is just knocking it out of the park. They're doing a great job. Good for them. Good for us.
Okay,
So,
now this
need to
isn't
keep it up.
cheap lube, but I do recommend it. It's water based. It's incredibly easy to wash off. It's good for either any hole. It's H2 Joe. You can get it at pretty much any sex shop. It's very, very good. It was recommended actually by a sex worker to me, a gay sex
Wonderful.
worker. So you know it's good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Trusted source.
I actually
So,
love
thank
that.
you
We
for
should
that
do
brand
Maybe we'll
endorsement.
get sponsored.
Yeah. Also, yeah, thanks everyone, Jennifer, Robo, obviously Glynis and Dakota are the best. Everyone that was in the chat today. Miracle Man, stop being cute. You're adorable. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Oh yeah. Why do I read that as Canadian? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
You betcha. That's what I'm talking about. Don't get anything that's flavored. It'll give you a yeast infection. Nice. Thank you, so MM knows. Nice. Dakota speaks true. He speaks the true truth. Yeah, I love everyone. Fargo. Nice. This was really fun. We'll be back next week and we'll do it all again and we'll have a great time again. And we love everyone here.
Yep. In the meantime, come check us out on Facebook and Discord and Twitter
Yeah.
and Instagram and all that good stuff. Come hang out with us.
You guys are here. What would I do without both of you? Oh yeah. There's
Let's
going to be
never
a
find
debate.
out.
Yeah, I think there's a debate on IFLC shortly after this, and we should go vote Miracle Man because Miracle Man. Are you on the side of DC? Is that what's happening? Love
I'm
you.
on the
Join
side
us,
of
Phil
whoever
Alki.
loves the first Suicide Squad.
Nice, which I think is Miracle Man.
Oh no.
IRL for real. Like let's see. I thought we had the queerest show on YouTube. You were wrong, bitch. You were wrong. Nice.
It can
All right,
always
well,
get queer.
That's right. Everything can always get more gay. Well, that's exciting. We should, we'll go hang out over there and yeah, we'll see everyone in IFLC on the debate video today. And is it Valiant Club today or is that another time?
I think that's next week.
Next week. All right, cool. Yeah, there's heaps going on. Just subscribe.
So
It's great.
Harbinger
It's
War.
so fun.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes,
tomorrow on
bitch, Team MM.
Discord, if you hate yourself, we're going to be watching Highlander all day. 5 movies.
I do hate myself. Oh, yes, I'll be there. Sounds great. All right. Peace and love. We will see y'all soon.